What is your response to all of the people out there who are claiming your department doesn't have a case, and that's why, this is taking as long as it is because your department doesn't have enough evidence?
My response to it is, this is what we do. We don't get so concerned about the politics, what people say. The courts will play it out. The administration of the justice system will play it out, and people will see.
Whitehall police arrested City Council member Gerald Dixon on December 8th, charging him with gross sexual imposition and compelling prostitution. Those charges were dropped about 2 weeks later. I asked to speak with Dixon after I interviewed Chief Crispen, but he declined through his attorney. His attorney did release a statement saying, in part, public statements made by Chief Crispen regarding an ongoing investigation raise serious concerns about the integrity of the investigative process, apparent agenda behind those disclosures, and above all, Mr. Dixon's right to due process. Crispen says the department continues to investigate, including going through evidence collected from his home on the night of his arrest.
They have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pieces of evidence that they have to go through. It's just the paper documents alone were almost as tall as my tallest detective.
Dixon was released the day after his arrest on his own recognizance, after a Franklin County Municipal Court judge said she couldn't set a bond due to a lack of details being provided.
What happened with the court hearing, his initial court appearance, and the judge claimed she did not have the evidence in front of her to set a bond?
I know we gave them the information. My sense is, and from what I understand, that the search warrant was sealed. And so there could have been some problems with the information because it was sealed, didn't get to her. I'm not really sure.
2 weeks after his arrest, a Franklin County Municipal Court judge dismissed the charges against Dixon.
People continue to bring up that you're only doing this because Dixon previously supported an investigation into your department and into you specifically. What is your response to that?
The same thing that can be said about that, which is not true, could also be said, is he aware that I was looking at him? So I don't know if either one of those two are not really relevant to me, because that's not how we do our business.
Crispen says in order for next steps to be taken toward a possible indictment, they're waiting on one final piece of evidence.
This one piece is extremely crucial, because that has a lot to do with what they send to the grand jury.
Crispen says the evidence that's been released so far through press conferences and to city council members has nothing to do with the case they're currently building. And he says part of that has to do with statute of limitations.
There's nothing that we've released that will be part of this case, and the dates on these things should tell you that.
Crispen says he's released certain information publicly, like journal entries allegedly written by Dixon years ago, because of the high-profile nature of the case.
This was released to them because it's not going to affect the case, so they can deal with a character issue. The stuff that we have and the stuff that they have are two separate, completely different things. And if people see that and think that's our case, well, they're wrong.
Crispen says the alleged victims are becoming hesitant to get involved because of the current political divide in Whitehall.
It's really tough when you see people on social media supporting somebody that generally in society we immediately recoil to. But there's not an immediate recoil for some. There's an immediate, well, we hate these other people more kind of thing. And that's causing us a little bit of investigative problems.
But he's hoping people will support the alleged victims.
We could use some help from people who are familiar with their family members and that have had some things happen and they're aware of it, to support these folks and tell them it's okay to speak to the police.
Crispen adds complex investigations like this are a process.
It does take a lot of time, so we're not going to speed up just so people feel better about us. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to make people feel good about us. We're here to do justice and protect the community.